My name is Helen. I am 26 years old, and until 2 years ago, I believed in love the way a child believes in fairy tales. I believed in beginnings that promised happy endings, in marriages that sheltered women like castles, and in men who stood as protectors. That illusion shattered the moment I placed divorce papers on the dinner table, across from the man who once held my trembling hands and vowed to protect me. "Sign it," I said, my voice sharper than the knife that cut the roasted chicken before us. Anton, my husband, my first love, my greatest mistake, looked up with drunken eyes, his lips curled in disbelief. "What the hell is this all of a sudden? It was your idea, wasn't it? You never wanted this child. Now give me freedom along with your contempt." His face, usually so calm and professional, flushed crimson. Rage flickered across his features like a storm about to break. Yet I did not flinch. For too long, I had swallowed his bitterness, accepted his cruelty, and disguised my pain as loyalty. Not anymore. I was 24 when I first met Anton. He was my superior at the mobile company where I worked, a man 3 years older, with sharp suits and sharper words. To me, a rookie fumbling with office systems and drowning in anxiety, he was a lifeline. He guided me patiently, explained details no one else bothered to, and sometimes invited me for dinner after late shifts. He was dependable, charming, admired by women in the office. And for the first time in my life, a man's attention landed on me. It embarrassed me then, but I must confess now, I was not experienced with men. My secret world was filled with animated characters, 2D crushes that never hurt you, never betrayed you. Real men frightened me with their unpredictability. Yet when Anton asked me out, my heart skipped like a teenager's. I thought it destiny. Within a year, we were married. Our colleagues congratulated us, half jealous and half sincere. I basked in the glow of being the lucky one, Anton's chosen wife. I thought my loneliness had ended, but Anton, the man who had taught me how to navigate office files, had different lessons to teach in marriage. The day after we registered our marriage, Anton dropped a bombshell. "You're married to me now, so you'll quit your job," he said casually, like announcing tomorrow's weather. "What? Quit? You never mentioned, 'I don't want my wife working. I can support us both. From tomorrow, you won't step into that office again.'" His tone was final, his eyes hard. I should have fought, I should have screamed. But Anton had always been my superior, at work and now at home. My protests withered under his stare. By morning, I was no longer an employee, no longer anyone but his wife. I poured myself into the role, cooking his favorite dishes, scrubbing floors until they shone, ironing his jackets with military precision. I longed for a word of appreciation, one smile, one thank you. Instead, Anton's voice grew colder, his demands harsher. When I once fell ill and lay curled under a blanket, fevered and weak, he stormed into the bedroom. "What are you doing? Get up and cook." I'm sick," I whispered. "You don't work. You lie around because you feel a little unwell? Pathetic." Tears fell silently as I stumbled out of bed to fry his eggs. That was when the cracks in my fairy tale widened, threatening to swallow me whole. Weeks later, I missed my period. The test showed 2 bright lines. My heart fluttered with joy. I was carrying our child. That night, Anton came home reeking of alcohol. I rushed to him, excitement bubbling through my exhaustion. "Anton, listen, I'm pregnant." His reaction was not joy, it was horror. "A child? What the hell have you done?" "What do you mean? This is wonderful news." "I don't want a child." "Damn it, this is the worst. If you're keeping it, raise it yourself." He tossed his jacket aside, his words stabbing deeper than any blade. I froze, my joy collapsing into despair. Wasn't this supposed to be our dream? Hadn't he married me for love? Later, as I carried his discarded shirt to the laundry, a slip of paper fell out. A receipt. At first, I thought nothing of it, until my eyes locked on the establishment's name. A motel. My hands shook, my stomach churned. It was as if every cruel word, every cold glance, suddenly made sense. He wasn't rejecting the baby, he was rejecting me. From that moment, I watched Anton with new eyes. His phone never left his side. He mocked my morning sickness, complained about my cooking, nitpicked my every move. I began searching for proof, receipts, messages, anything. But Anton was too careful, too meticulous. One evening, my father called unexpectedly from Canada. His voice, always brisk and businesslike, carried a softness I hadn't heard since childhood. "Helen," he said, "I need to tell you something about Anton." What he revealed confirmed my suspicions. Anton had been seeing someone at the company long before we married. Perhaps that was why he forced me to quit, to keep me blind. My father's connections had uncovered what I feared most. That night, I lay awake, hand on my growing belly, wondering how my love story had soured into betrayal. By the 9th month of my pregnancy, Anton's cruelty became unbearable. One evening, as I placed a plate of lightly seasoned food before him, safe for me and the baby, he scowled. "This is tasteless," he shouted, slamming his fork down. In one vicious motion, he hurled the food to the floor. I stared at the mess, my body heavy, my heart heavier. His eyes burned with disdain. "I don't want a woman with a belly like a monster. Raise the kid yourself." I had always known this day might come. Quietly, I rose, fetched a folder from the bedroom, and returned. "Here," I said, sliding the divorce papers across the table. For once, it was Anton's turn to look stunned. His face twisted in disbelief, then fury. "You'll regret this. Do you think you can survive without me? With a baby?" "I'll manage," I replied calmly. Perhaps my serenity unsettled him, for he signed. Just like that, my shackles broke. I left the next morning, moving into my parents' home. My father, who had returned from Canada, welcomed me with open arms. It was not just refuge he offered, but something more, an inheritance, $33 million in assets granted in advance. Enough to raise my child. Enough to live without fear. Months later, I delivered a healthy baby. My world, once filled with Anton's contempt, now glowed with my child's innocent cries. I thought Anton was gone forever. But greed has a way of resurrecting men like him. 6 months after the divorce, my phone rang relentlessly. Finally, I answered. "Helen, why the hell didn't you tell me you're the daughter of a CEO? You were on TV. Your family's worth millions. Half of that money is mine, right? Give me what's mine." I laughed bitterly. "Gifts from parents aren't marital property, Anton. And after your cheating, you think you deserve a cent?" He sputtered, but I pressed on. "Don't worry. My lawyer will handle child support. You'll never see me or the baby again." And with that, I blocked his number. Through former colleagues, I later learned Anton remarried quickly, only to fall into debt thanks to his new wife's extravagance. He lost his job, his dignity, and his stability. As for me, I found strength I never knew I had. With my father preparing me to inherit the company, I discovered that I was not just a wife, not just a mother. I was a woman capable of rebuilding her life from ruins. Anton once told me I would regret leaving him, but as I cradle my baby in the safety of my parents' home, as laughter replaces tears, I realize the truth. The only regret I carry is that I didn't leave him sooner.